All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And salutations to all you brothers out there pushing this word in love, truth, sincerity, and humility. Once again, it's the brother Shakti from the Chicago camp, coming back to you with what I hope is another quick and edifying sit down. And I finally had a chance to watch the movie 40 Acres. And huge spoiler alert, if you have not seen this movie, please do not watch this sit down. I highly recommend you go watch the movie. And if the spirit compels you to come back and watch this video, as I said earlier, I hope you are edified. Once again, if you have not watched the movie, do not watch this video. Please go watch the movie. But with that being said, I can see why there was not a heavy push on advertising this movie, because when you have a chance to watch 40 Acres, it gives you an extremely raw, gritty insight on what's going to happen when society collapses. And there's many aspects of this film that you could go into, but I'm just going to talk about the age-old struggle between Jacob and Esau. Because in this movie, you have this family headed by the woman that you see on the screen. Okay, her last name was Freeman, and the family was called the Freemans. And it just so happens that her oldest son, and these two daughters, these two girls, I should say, they were Southern Kingdom, and the stepfather, which was her husband, and his daughter, they were Gadites. So they were Northern Kingdom. And so they were living on a piece of land given to them by their forefathers. And the Plights wanted to confiscate it for themselves. Now the Plights, if I can remember correctly, that was how they were called. They were a bunch of cannibalistic, marauding Edomites. Okay? And when I tell you that this movie showed Esau going full Esau, yeah, you better believe it. When that time comes, Esau is going to go full Esau. But nonetheless, okay, this movie is pretty much showing you the fight and the conflict between Jacob and Esau. And this concept is very ancient, and it goes back all the way to the beginning when you look in the book of Genesis. So let me get that real quick. Genesis 25 and 19. It says, and these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begat Isaac. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel the Syrian of Padan Aram, the sister to Laban the Syrian. And Isaac entreated Yahweh for his wife, because she was barren, and Yahweh was entreated of him. And Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of Yahweh, because giving birth to children is supposed to be a beautiful thing. It's a blessing. But she said during the time, what the scriptures tells us, during the time of her pregnancy, she wasn't very comfortable. It says the children struggled together. Now, we've gotten this word before, but excuse me, it's okay. We can get it again. struggled. Ratazai. It says to crush, to oppress, to crush, get crushed, be crushed. To crush, be broken, to crush in pieces, to oppress, to crush each other. Figuratively, Strong's definition: break, bruise, crush, discourage, oppress, struggle together. It says primitive root to crack in pieces, literally or figuratively. Hey, that's why we get that phrase from. Oh shit, they about to get it cracking. Meaning there's about to be a struggle. There's going to be fight. There's going to be a conflict. So the scripture is telling us that even within her womb, they were fighting. And it says, verse 23, and Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. All right. And when you go into the scriptures and read about Esau, it gives you his personality. Okay, what would be the common characteristics of the Edomites? And it says, and after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob, and Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. So this is the beginning of the conflict between Jacob and Esau. And then you see in verse 27, not verse 27, chapter 27, this is when that hatred that Esau had for Jacob became solidified, when Esau sold his birthright. And so we're going to get to the part where of what happened after when Esau gave away his birthright. Genesis 27 and 28. And so after Esau gave away his birthright, this is when we come into the story where Jacob's going to receive the ultimate blessing, and Esau is going to get his consolation, thus solidifying his hatred for our people. And it says, Genesis 27 and 28, therefore the Most High give thee the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth and plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve thee and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that cursed thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from hunting. And he also had made savory meat and brought it to his father, and said unto his father, let my father arise and eat of his son's venison, that the soul may bless me. And Isaac his father said unto him, who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly, said, who? Where is he that hath taken venison and brought it me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him. Yea, and he shall be blessed. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceedingly bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said, Thy brother came with subtlety, and have taken away thy blessing. And he said, Is not he rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright. And behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he has said, Hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy Lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. And with corn and wine have I sustained him, and what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by the sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. So that's when that anger and that hatred towards Jacob, you Israelites, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, this is when that hatred solidified, okay? Never to be broken. As the scripture says, since thou hast had a perpetual hatred. And to back that up, you can go, I think it's in Exodus. Exodus 17 and 16. It says, For he said, Because Yahweh has sworn that Yahweh will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. Okay, and this is the struggle that you even see, as I mentioned before. This is the struggle that you see in the movie, Jacob versus Esau. Okay, and the fight was brutal. Okay, and they let you know in this movie, if I hadn't mentioned it earlier, in this movie it clearly shows you that Esau is going to go full Esau. And what I mean by that is that there was this one scene in the film where the Gadite brother went to go check the fence because something was happening in the system. And so when he went to go check the fence, there was an opening. And as he was checking out this opening, he saw the head of a deer, and he got mesmerized by it. And one of the members of the plight bopped him upside the head, and he fell down, and all these Edomites just start coming up out the bush, and they went inside the fence, and some went forward and some stayed back. And the ones that stayed back, they helped their other companions tie up the Gadite brother, or should I say restrain him. So they tied his feet up with a rope, and they put his arms out like in a crucifix position. So he's in a crucifix position on the ground. And these Edomites took these big ass nails, like old school spiked nails, and they rammed it through his left and his right hand, temporarily incapacitating him. And while he was nailed down to the ground in the crucifix position, one of the Edomites came over and unrolled his sleeve and immediately took a bite out of his bicep. I was like, holy shit. Okay? And see, this is going to happen in real time, in real life. All right? When this devil gets a chance to come down with that great wrath that's spoken of in Revelations 12 and 12, you're going to truly see the 666% pure wickedness of this man. Okay? But the one good thing, not the one good thing, but one of the things, the main things that the movie showed was that at the end, the Freemans prevailed. Okay? And that's also prophesied in the Bible, where it goes into the blessing. I want to say that's Genesis 49. Let's see. Genesis 49 and 8. And it says, Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thy enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. All right. Because when the movie was reaching its climax, all right, Jake was getting it in on these Edomites. Okay. And then I'm going to scroll down, and you had Gad. It says Gad, verse 19, Genesis 49:19. Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. Because there was a moment in the film where you didn't think that the Gadite brother was going to make it, because he got injured very badly in a fight within the house. But it turns out that he was able to get help after everything was all resolved. So he actually made it while the Edomites died. And so at the end of the movie, you have a scene where you have Northern Kingdom and Southern Kingdom dining together, dwelling in unity. So, it's a very, like I said, it's more I can say on it, but, that's all I wanted to speak on. But it was a very extremely spiritual movie. Like I said, if you brothers haven't checked it out yet, I highly recommend it. So that's all I wanted to say on this. I hope you all were edified. Till the next time, we're going to say shalom.